Hey, what's going on, guys? Sean or Moostang 09 bringing you another video, and today we're talking about the Mustang. As you can tell, we have it aired out right now. It's looking really, really good. However, that's going to change. The bags are coming off. We have some new suspension for it. Something a little more race oriented. Actually, it's really race oriented. It is the Viking Crusaders. They look really good. Here they are. So the Crusaders I ordered from the guys over at UPR. They always treat me right. So if you ever need some suspension stuff, go check them out. I run their lower control arms, upper control arm. I have now this stuff. I have their catch cans. I have a battery relocation kit that I need to install. And then I also have their, K-member. I have the BMR K-member that has yet to be installed simply because I'm waiting to get on a lift. It's not really something I want to do laying on the ground. I've pulled the K-member on this car before when we did the turbo install and everything, and it's not a ton of fun. So if we can get on a lift, it'll make life a little bit easier. Before we get kicked off into installing parts on the Mustang, I wanted to show you guys the new merch. So we have this, I'm calling it the Bearded Racer collection. We have hats, which there's nothing on the back, it's just black, so it's just a kind of a talking piece. You guys can talk to it and say you race, you watch a guy on the internet that races. But yeah, I thought it looked really cool. Wearing the black version of the shirt. It's got it on the front, and then I'll show you on the back. It just says Mustang 09 EST 2013. Here's the white version. Really nice. It's a very soft material, and something that I'm super proud of, or that I think is really neat, we have our own tags on the inside, so it says Mustang 09 EST 2013 on the inside, so they're tagless shirts. None of that itchy stuff going on in the back. But yeah, man, they're live on the website. Everything on the website right now has free shipping. We're just kind of celebrating the launch of some new merch. There's stickers, and then we have some of the old stuff left, the koozies and the drag flag shirt. So if you're interested, Mustang 09, go check it out. I appreciate you guys. This is the last time we'll be able to lift it up this easily. And for those wondering, I've already sold the kit. It's going to a guy over in Utah where I'm moving, so it makes it really convenient. I don't got to ship it. But yeah, the kit is sold. Nice to be able to do that because you can jack it up super easily. It's going to be interesting with the Vikings. We'll see. By the way, this is the best tripod in the game. There you go. And here is the airlift system. It's really straightforward. It's just like a coilover on the front. It's a bag, and then you got your strut, so nothing too crazy. We have some zip ties holding our brake lines up. As you can tell, the exhaust for the turbo weaves right through here, and that's an interesting piece to put on. It's really tough. It rattles a little bit on some stuff, so we'll see what it looks like when we get this off and see if we can't put anything in there to help the rattling stop. Here is the current situation. We have the front, I guess you'd call it coilover airbag piece, is disconnected from the car. However, we have to disconnect the air to this. I don't know the proper way. The only way I can think of is to turn this and take this off, and it'll let the air come out. And what's going to happen is it's going to scream like crazy. All the air is going to flow out of this. But that's the only way I see it really working. It's like slowly leaking. This thing's going to shoot out of here. Oh, there it goes. Scared the hell out of me. That wasn't too bad. And that's off. So now the bag is out. Oh my gosh. Scared the hell out of me. With that out of the way, now it's time to chase the airline back out of the car. This is going to be a super interesting one since we have the roll bar in, or the cage in now. I don't know how this is going to go because I don't want to have to take all the body panels off on the inside, the plastic panels, but I have a feeling that that's what's going to have to happen. Pray for me, y'all, because those are not easy to get back on with that cage in there. I'm hoping I can yank this thing through, but we'll see. The one saving grace is that I haven't put this body panel back on yet, but as you can tell, we've zip tied it along the way to the harness, just to be extra cautious. This is gonna be fun. Holy smokes. Okay, so I had to take this part off, the little kick panel here, the door sill thing. This one I couldn't get all the way off, which I didn't really have to, but I used a little piece of tubing here just to prop it open so that I could feed some of the wires through This wire bundle is super long, and probably from here on I had to fetch through that little gap there in the panel of the car, which it wasn't too bad, but we got it out. So now it's just in the back. I went ahead and disconnected the compressor, so we have them on these male and female clips so that it's really easy to disconnect whenever we needed to, which we never had to. But the front is totally disconnected now. We just got to fetch the rest of this air hose out, and the front will be completely done. So, but not too bad on taking the body panels off. So as you know, I have to drain the tank in the back, and the way I did it before is I just removed one of the plugs and let the air just rush out. I completely forgot that there was this little valve in the back, just like a bike tire valve that you put air in with. You can also take air out with. So while I wasn't doing it the easiest way, it got done. But for those of you with airlift and you want to uninstall it, you do have a little valve in the rear. I think it's called a Schrader valve, and you can release the air pressure out of your tank. So it's not sketchy. But I did release this one slowly. I just backed off the plug little by little and let the air pressure come out, and so it didn't have this big like air explosion shooting that little plug into the trunk somewhere. But yeah, we're making headway. Inside here we are getting ready to build out our Viking Crusader shocks or coilover kit for the front. What we need to do first is pull this rod out. Yeah, there we go. Boom. These pieces here. So this is like your locking ring. This is where the these washers right here with this thrust bearing will sit, and then another washer, and then your spring sits on that. And the reason for the thrust bearing and the washers are so that when you go to raise it, it doesn't have this binding effect and it doesn't damage the spring or damage the seating there. It lets it go up a little more freely. There's a lot of anti-seize involved in all of this. You have to coat the top side of the bottom ring and then the bottom side of the top ring. You want to coat those so that they don't seize up in there. And then you also want to coat the threads on this so that when you put these on, they don't get all stuck, and you'll be able to adjust them as needed. So that's what we're going to do first. And for those of you guys that have watched other videos on the internet and they say don't do it, here you go. Straight out of the packaging for Viking. Warning, anti-seize must be applied to the shock threads before adjusting ride height. So there you go. And then these are saying that it's not for the street. So we'll go ahead, get this thing built out, and then get this one on the car. If you can tell on this one, there's a ridge at the top, and that's the top of this locking collar right here, because what it'll do is it'll push up into the one above it, and it'll go on that way. But we're gonna put this stuff on the inside of these threads. And if you've never used anti-seize, get ready to have some fun. This stuff gets everywhere. It's so funny because it's silver and metallic-y, and it just goes on everything. It's ridiculous. All right, we have anti-seize on the strut and on the nuts. We're gonna be a minute. I'm the Tin Man. First, so we got the locking collar and the adjusting collar on. Put them all the way down to the bottom per the instructions. When I watched a video of a guy doing this on an S197, like my vehicle, he tried to do it when it was up into place a little bit higher, and he couldn't get the nut down on the top. So this should make enough room for the spring to sit, and then put the nut down, and then you can adjust it later when you get it on the car. I think I showed you guys before, but we have two washers and a thrust bearing. So it goes washer, thrust bearing, washer, and that sits on there. So we need to coat these with anti-seize, not the thrust bearing, just the washers. The spring can go on. It goes washer, thrust bearing, washer. Smaller cap goes on top. This goes on here. Now it's time to install this in the car. The thing you want to look for on the UPR caster camber plate is that this V notch right here goes to the fender of the car, so the outside. We have our washers and our nuts. These will go on the top when we put this into place. So now this will go in, and we'll tighten it down. So obviously that's just thrown in there. This is how you're going to get your alignment. So whenever you take it somewhere, loosen those four up, and then you can slide this piece in the middle here. and it'll get you to where you need to go. For now, we need to put it on the control arm down there, or the spindle, and get this thing buttoned back up. What we're going to do now is lower the car, put pressure on that, and see if we can tighten that top nut up a little bit more with some pressure on it, so that it's got some weight underneath it. So right now it's wanting to spin the shaft, which is what happens on these coilovers, just about any coilover. It helps to have a really good impact, something that's really strong. My Milwaukee's a little small. It works good for most things, but stuff like this, you need the one that's got a little ass behind it, just to really run it down on the threads. It's got a good ride height. Alrighty guys, this is where the car stayed the night last night outside. We weren't able to finish the install. The fronts are 99% of the way in, and let me show you why it's not complete. And under the hood here, look at all those leaves, man. Holy moly. But under here, as you can tell, this is our problem. The nut is not wanting to thread on without spinning the shaft. And I don't have a go-through or a pass-through wrench that will fit on this or socket. And I don't have a 24mm wrench. And I think that's going to be a problem because it can't get down into here. I really need a socket of some sort. So I've got a buddy. You guys know Trey. He helped with the turbo install. He's coming over after work today, and we're going to give it a shot with his snap-on impact. His are way stronger than mine, and also he's a full-time mechanic. So I'm hoping he knows a trick or two that we can get this thing on and get it finalized up front. Until then, though, you guys know with daylight savings time, the sun is going down at a rapid rate. It doesn't stay up past like 6 o'clock here in Texas. So actually like 5:30. I'm gonna start banging out the rear end. I'm gonna start taking off the rear suspension, the bags and stuff back there. When it comes time to install this, you have your bottom isolator and your top isolator, and your whole piece just goes together kind of like that. It does say to install the springs with the ring right here all the way in the lower position. I'm going about midway just because I have the big tires on right now, so I'm not sure if it's going to clear if we go all the way down. We'll try it out and see, and I can always adjust it later. These are super easy to adjust. I got the tool from UPR here. Not a big deal to adjust if I need to. I'm going to throw this on the car. It's hard to film under there. It's dark. My hands are greasy. So give me a minute. And there you have it, guys. The rear suspension is all in. Both sides are on, as you can tell. So now all we got to do is jack this puppy up, get the jacks out from under, the stands out from underneath, and lower it down and see what the ride height looks like. I'm gonna be interested to see. Wow, it's been nearly 4 years on air ride, and everything changes right now. I think it looks pretty good. Might be a tad high in the rear, but that might give us just the right amount of room we need. So I'm not too angry with it. It's like, it's kind of hard to get 3 fingers, so 2.5 fingers in there. So a little bit more space, but I will be taking this thing to an alignment shop. You can tell here, the front one really needs to come up, and I have anti-seize all along the tire. Go, Sean. I'm finishing up editing the video from probably a little over a month ago now on doing the Viking install on the Mustang, and I realized that I never filmed an ending for it. So this is the ending. We're here in Utah now. It's gorgeous, it's beautiful. Here's the Mustang. It's on its Viking suspension now. It's looking really good. We adjusted the fronts, adjusted the rears. The alignment went well. So everything is in and buttoned up. And one thing I didn't show is Trey came over and hit the top nut with his impact, zipped it right on like no problem. Of course, leave it to Snap-on tools. They're great, of course. But yes, the Texas boy, oh my gosh, we are here in Utah. It's a little chilly. There's snow all over the place, but the view is unreal, man. Unreal. I have one last video that I filmed in Texas that I'm gonna edit up and get out to you guys soon. It's an exciting one, something you guys probably weren't quite expecting just yet, but I'll give you a sneak peek over here. So stay tuned. We'll have more videos coming really soon. Thanks so much for watching and supporting me. If you want to get some of the merch, Mustang09.com. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video, and we'll catch you boys back here next time. Take it easy. Peace.